Hey guys, my name is Eliza. Welcome to Kia of Everett, the home of the simple, easy, and fun. Today we're gonna have an in-depth walk around on the 25 Kia Telluride. Come and follow me. All right, so the 25 Kia Telluride is paired with a 3.8 liter V6 Lambda 2 engine. It has 191 horsepower with 262 pound-feet of torque. Now the available trim levels on the Telluride is going to be your LX, your S, your EX, your SX, and your SX Prestige. However, there are some rugged trim levels that you can get in those available trim levels, meaning the X Line and the X Pro. The X Line is only available on the EX, SX, and SX Prestige, versus the X Pros are only available on the SX and the SX Prestige. All right, so we're gonna start on the front end of the Telluride. As you can see here, this is the styling of the 25 Kia Telluride. Now, in 23, they did a redesign and they added this reinforced front bumper as well as a reinforced back bumper. And you notice how the grille and the bumper here are blacked out. That's only available on the X Line and the X Pros. On your standard core trim levels, these are gonna be chrome accents here for you. Now, for some of the safety features in the front end of the Telluride, you do have front end parking sensors, a front camera, which is included with the 360. And then over here, you have your forward collision camera, which actually detects pedestrians, cyclists, and other vehicles like head-on collision, turning at a junction, and so on. All right, I'm gonna take you guys to the side of the Telluride here. First of all, check out those rims. Those rims are gorgeous. They're all blacked out, and that's another thing that you'll get on the X Line and the X Pro. And then I'll take you to the side mirror here. You notice this little camera here? That is included with your 360-degree camera. You'll have one in the front, both side mirrors, and in the back. Side turn signals here, so that the people next to you know that you're switching lanes. You do have keyless entry. Realistically, you could just grab the door handle and it's gonna unlock for you as long as you have the key in your pocket. I'm gonna take you guys on the inside of the passenger side of the vehicle. Now, for the higher trim levels, you do get a Harman Kardon sound system, and that's available on the SX and the Prestige. Lower trim levels, you're just gonna get a standard sound system. And then also too, on the SX Prestige, you do get a automatic passenger seat as well too. And if you take a look at the stitching of the seat, this is the stitching that is available for the X Line and the X Pro. It's gonna be a different type of design on your core trim levels. But if you get the X Line, you have an embossed X Line word here on the seat. And then for the X Pro, it's gonna say X Pro. For the outside side styling of the vehicle, as you notice here on the X Line and the X Pros, you'll also get blacked out gloss around the windows, as well as down here. And your roof rails are gonna be gloss black as well, but they're gonna be a little bit more raised. Versus the core trim levels, all of that's gonna be chrome. Now I'm gonna take you guys inside the vehicle and go a little bit more in depth on some of the features and conveniences that you see inside of the vehicle. Follow me. So now we're inside the 25 Telluride, and as you can see, there is so much space in here. It's insane, and there's a lot of light. Starting off with, you have your sunroof here in the front, and back here you have a moonroof. So this one won't open, that's why it's called a moonroof. And this one here does open, that's why it's called a sunroof. And behind me, you guys have these sunshades here. So if the sun is too bright and in your eyes, the kiddos can hang those up. Also including that, you will get heated back seats as well as ventilated back seats. There is USB-C, newly updated USB-C phone chargers here, also some in the back. So everyone has that convenience of charging and never having a dead cell phone. Also down here too, you have a 115 volt plug and a 12 volt plug. This will give you a peace of mind knowing that if you need to do some work on the road, you can plug in your laptop and your laptop's not gonna die. Another one of my favorite things too is the seat is adjustable. So you don't have to sit straight up like this the whole time during your road trip. You can actually recline all the way back, and you could stick your feet underneath the seat and you're gonna be as comfortable as you can be. Also too, you have armrests. And the cool thing is, say for example, I do wanna sit straight up. Well, now my armrest is like this. That's a little awkward, right? That's all you gotta do. They are adjustable, so at any given point you're reclining, you're always gonna have a comfortable straight armrest here. And they also did design the door too, where you could set your arm comfortably here too. Now, getting inside the vehicle could sometimes be challenging, especially living in Washington State and the roads being wet and the plastics getting wet. It could get slippery sometimes too. So that's why they put a handle here. And there's also one right behind my head too for the back seat. So this will give you a peace of mind knowing that you will be able to safely get in and out of the vehicle without having to slip. I forgot one thing to show you, and I actually really like this feature. I find it very convenient. So you have these grocery bag holders here, and these are great for like your eggs and tomatoes. So you're not losing them underneath the seat for 2 weeks and then all of a sudden getting in the vehicle and you're like, oh, what is that smell? So this is a great convenient feature to have. And I'm so glad that I remembered to share that with you guys. All right. So this was the handle here that I was talking about. All right, so we're in the third row of the 25 Kia Telluride, and as you can tell, there's still a lot of space back here. And the reason why is because Kia, they did something called stadium seating, meaning that the third row sits up a little bit higher than the second row. And you could see it in the second row. There's a large hump there, and that's how they achieve the stadium seating so that the third row people and the second row people have just enough leg room. I also wanted to include too is the positioning of the air vents. Actually, the Kia Telluride is the first mid-size SUV that had put vents in the third row here. And they actually put them on the roof instead of here so that the whole body can cool down and warm up, not just your toes. And you do have climate controls in the second row so that you can control both the second row and the third row. And another thing that's pretty convenient too is how many cup holders are in this car. So you've got 2 sides in the very front row in the door, also 2 in the front, 2 in the second row, 2 in the door, in the second row, and you also have 2 cup holders here. That's a total of 12 cup holders. So no matter what, you'll always know where the baby bottle is, and you always will know where the water bottles are. I think that's a lot of cup holders, but I find it pretty convenient. I'm gonna show you a little bit more in depth on the inside back end of the vehicle. And starting off with the stow and go here. So you've got pretty large space of cargo, but not only that, you do have a stow and go here so that you can hide valuables that you don't want other people to see when you open up your truck. Another really cool thing too is they have these easy straps here, which will allow you to easily fold the seats down, and they're Velcro, so that the straps don't flip over the seat and then you're trying to lean in to grab the strap. They Velcro straight to the back of the seat, so sure people like me can actually reach them. But not only that, you have these easy buttons here that will fold down the second row, and these ones are automatic. And it actually folds all the seats completely flat in the vehicle. Another really cool thing I've noticed in the Tellurides too is most vehicles have these hooks here that keep the seat belts from flying around the vehicle and getting stuck behind the seat. But not only that, the Telluride actually has this slot here to hold the metal portion of the seatbelt in place so it doesn't bang up against your wall while you're driving. Oh, I almost forgot, you guys. Follow me. I want to show you one more thing before we go a little bit more in depth back here. You see this? This is what you call your doggy seatbelt. If you get a specific collar or doggy leash, you can actually stick it through this loop here. And when you buckle the seatbelt, say for example, someone decides to slam on their brakes in front of you and you have to come to a halt stop, this seatbelt's gonna lock up and your dog is going to stay in place. He or she is not gonna go flying. So that's one of my favorite safety features for your pets. All right, so just a couple more things I wanted to showcase back here before I take you to the driver's seat is your tailgate here. So you do have a powered tailgate, and it does automatically open the tailgate when you approach the vehicle coming out of the grocery store. You don't even have to kick the bumper anymore. You just keep the key in your pocket, don't move, it beeps 4 times and then it will open up. Not only that, you can adjust it to different heights by pulling it down where you want it to be at, holding down this button until you hear a feedback. And so when you close the tailgate and open back up, it's only gonna open up to this level. Now, this also has a automatic close on the tailgate, meaning that if you walk away from the tailgate with the key, the tailgate is gonna automatically close. Well, what happens if you have many trips from going back to the car and inside with groceries? If you hit this button here, this will prevent the tailgate from automatically closing on you while you're trying to go back and forth to getting those groceries out of the car. So this is the back end of the Telluride. I kind of wanted to show you guys the styling of it. This is the reinforced back bumper that I was talking about. And again, it is gloss black for the X-Line and the X Pro, but for the core trim levels, that is gonna be chrome. One of my favorite things about the Telluride though is how big the taillights are. This is gonna give a really great peace of mind knowing that the people behind you is gonna be able to see you slow down and brake. And then as you can tell here, it does showcase Telluride on the back with the Kia. And on the SX Prestige, this is only available on the SX Prestige, is this little camera here. And this is linked to your rear view mirror. So when you flip your rear view mirror, it goes from just a standard mirror to a digital camera, just in case anyone's sitting in the third row and you can't see above their heads. Or it's also a really great feature to use when you are towing a trailer or a truck. All right, so we're now ready to drive our brand new 25 Kia Telluride. But first off, I'm gonna show you a couple of things about the seats. So on the SX Prestige, you do get seat memory here, and it is 2 profiles. So at the end of the day, no one's gonna be arguing who's changed whose seat. And also too, on your front row driver's seat here, this seat does come with what's called a cushion extension. So if you're a driver with really long legs and you have a tendency to hyperextend your leg for long periods of time, this cushion will actually easily rest behind your kneecap / calf here so that you won't get those cramps while you're hyperextending your leg for long periods of time on your road trip. This guy has a 4-way lumbar support. And not only that, there is something called lumbar stabilization, meaning that if you are driving either 30 minutes or 60 minutes, your lumbar here is going to inflate and deflate to prevent fatigue on your long drives. Some convenience features that you do get in the higher trim level for the Telluride is going to be your ambient lighting here. I don't know if you can see that, but it is red. And not only that, you do get heated and ventilated seats up here. This is standard on the SX and the Prestige. However, when you go to the Prestige, you get heated and ventilated seats in the second row. You also get a heated steering wheel, and there's a pad here that will wirelessly charge your phone. And I know that I pointed out a camera on the back end. That corresponds to the rear view mirror here. So when I flip this will turn digital so that you could see out the back end. This drive mode select. You get a total of 5 different drive modes, including comfort, sport, eco, snow, and smart mode. And smart mode learns from your driving habits and eventually customizes a drive mode for you based off your steering, your acceleration, and your braking. All right, so some of the major complaints that I've noticed over many decades with vehicles is not having enough accessible buttons in areas to where it keeps your eyes on the road. Now, Kia, what they did here is they put your must-have buttons on the steering wheel. Some of the buttons will include like volume, channel station control, phone calling, voice commands, adaptive cruise control, and lane following. So that's one of my favorite things about Kia's steering wheels is they have your must-have buttons here so that I could keep my eyes on this on the road. Well, not only that too, you also have a heads-up display which is available in the SX Prestige, and that will project your speed limit on the windshield as well too, and your turn-by-turn navigation and all your safety warning symbols. Now, I did want to take you guys a little bit more in depth into the screen. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the screen is huge. And I love it because I can actually see my speed limit. I could see who's calling me. I could see what kind of song I'm listening to, the whole 9 yards. And one of my favorite features about the Telluride, hold on, let me turn this on. It's called Passenger Talk. I don't know if you guys in the past have had issues with third rows and not be able to hear the person in the back seat. Well, Passenger Talk gives you an intercom in the back so that the front seat and the back seat can actually communicate easily throughout the vehicle, and everyone's going to be able to hear each other. Another really cool thing that I actually really like about Kia screens is everything's really well organized. There's a category for everything, and through the settings here, if you go to Settings, Vehicle, and Driver's Assistance, it actually shows you all your safety settings here. And under each setting, it has a well-written description, so you're never left in the dark of what the feature does. All right, you guys, that is it for the 25 Kia Telluride, your in-depth walk around. And I've told you about the ride, so let's hope your next ride is gonna be a Telluride. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have questions, comment down below.